Hey guys, Sonny Bryson here, and today we're going to talk about one of the most important questions, and that's basically, do I pay off my debt right now, or do I invest my money and multiply? Which one should I actually do? And in this video, I'm going to break down 5 types of debt and what to do in the situation, whether you want to pay off the debt in full, or for example, whether you actually want to start investing your money, because the debt is so irrelevant when it comes to how much it actually costs you every single year. I'm going to break down everything in this video. And by the way, I've seen some videos on YouTube about this topic, and the whole idea is that most people are either on one side or the other side, but I want to rely on the side of math. So in this video, I'm going to break down the math and the numbers, and that way you know exactly which one is going to make you more money and which one is going to be more expensive. That's the whole goal for this video. And by the way, if you're new here, I post videos on this channel every single day. So make sure to also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And on top of that, also destroy the like button. Now, without further ado, guys, the very first type of debt I want to talk about is one of the most popular ones here in America, and that's actually credit card debt. So should you pay your credit card debt off right now, or should you just go ahead, invest, and then worry about that later and just pay the minimums right now? Well, the idea is this. Here is the math and also the statistics behind credit cards. Well, the average credit card interest rate is around 23.43%, and on top of that, the average household in America owes around $5,700. And that is a ton of money if you ask me. But you might ask me, Tommy, well, if I invest money into an index fund, for example, the S&P, I can actually get back around 7% every single year to actually offset the cost of this credit card. The answer is, okay, there is no way to win this credit card game. And here's why. Because even Warren Buffett, one of the best investors out there, says in one of his interviews, hey, I don't know how to get you back 18 to 35% in returns guaranteed every single year, because basically credit cards charge you way too much money in interest. So obviously the best thing to do when it comes to a 24% credit card interest rate, or for example, a 7% return to the stock market, the obvious thing to do is basically pay off the credit card now. It's costing you way too much money, and then worry about investing later. Unless you can actually have a credit card that charges you less than 7%. The answer is that's almost impossible. But you know, you're probably gonna say, Tommy, well, some of you are gonna say, Tommy, but you know what? I can actually get a balance transfer promotional and pay 0% for like 12 months, something like that. You know, the answer is yes. In a way you can, but usually when you do a balance transfer, they do charge you around 5% for the initial balance. So in the end, you're still going to be paying money. And on top of that, for everyone out there that says, Tommy, well, I have a new credit card and they won't charge me any interest for the next like 12 months or 18 months. The answer is they only do that in hopes that you accumulate so much debt that then you can't pay it off in one lump sum. And then you're stuck with it. And then they're going to charge you that 24% every single year. So obviously, the best thing to do is pay off your credit card debt and then worry about investing later. And now, guys, the second type of debt is actually a debt I'm actually very excited about actually getting into. And that's actually buying a house and getting myself a mortgage, okay? That's the only reason I'm excited about this, okay? Usually, I would never be excited about any debt whatsoever. But the idea is, okay, depending on when you're actually watching this video, right now in 2020, in July or June, I think we're actually here right now. I'm not sure. I lost track, quarantine. But the idea is that basically right now we have historical low rates, meaning you can go out there and get a mortgage for around 3.4%. Meaning, if you ask me, Tommy, do I want to invest or pay off my mortgage faster? The answer is obviously the best thing to do is go ahead and invest into an index fund and get back the 7%, because that 3.4% is so low that it doesn't make any sense to actually pay it versus actually invest. However, remember, you still have to pay the regular payment on the mortgage. Don't start defaulting. That's not what I'm saying in this video at all. But that is not the only reason you might actually want to invest right now versus actually pay off your very low rate mortgage. By the way, if you don't have one of these, the best thing to probably do is basically just refinance your loan and talk to a financial advisor to see if it actually makes sense for you. However, guys, okay, another reason why you might actually not want to pay your mortgage out faster is something called the value of money and also inflation. And a very simple explanation is basically, well, if I told you, hey, can you lend me $1 million and I'll pay you back in 30 years? Would you do it? If you did, That's a dumb idea. Don't ever do it, okay? But the idea is, okay, if I grab that $1 million and I paid you back in 30 years, because of inflation being like around 2.5% every single year, at the end of those 30 years, when I give you back your $1 million, in reality, that money is only going to be worth around $476,000 worth of purchasing power, because again, the price of things go up, inflation keeps going up, and the idea is that money, that debt is actually worth a lot less. So in the long term, your mortgage debt will actually be worth a lot less money. So it's always a better idea to go ahead, make your regular payments over time, and then be done with it, okay? That's the best idea. And that's why, guys, you see so many like older people saying like, hey, you know what? We paid $60K for this house, but now the house is worth $400K and the mortgage has also been paid off. The answer is, as time progresses, the value of money goes down and down and down. So when it comes to debt, it also helps you out a ton. So obviously, again, the obvious answer is invest your money, make your regular payments, and focus on investing, not paying off your mortgage a lot faster. You don't have to do that whatsoever. Now, number 3, the third type is actually one of the most popular questions I get till this day. And it's, tell me, do I pay off my student loan debt right now, or do I go ahead and invest? And for this example, let's actually use a real example, because basically right now, I still have student loan debt. So let's use my example, my information, and all of my real numbers, okay? And guys, right now, I owe around $20,963,000. And guys, right now, I owe around $20,963 in student loan debts at an average interest rate of around 4.5%. Now, obviously, this has costed me around $943.34 every single year in interest. Now tell me, do you want to pay it off right now in full, or do you want to go ahead and make those payments and invest the money? The answer is this, guys. By me grabbing $20,000 and investing it into an index fund at a 7% interest rate every single year, I'm looking at making around $1,467. So obviously, in this example right here, it's actually more beneficial for me to actually go out there and invest my money instead of trying to pay off all my student loan debt in one lump sum. It doesn't make any sense. And that's why in March, I had all the money and I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and invest it. I did, and I'm making a lot of money in my investments right now versus just paying off some student loan debt. And by the way, I'm not telling you to pay the minimum on your student loan debt forever. The answer is, in the end, okay, it's still costing you real money. And in the end, you also want to get profit and lower your cost to actually earn that money. So although I'm earning more with my investments, well, this is still costing me money every single year. So the idea is, I do want to wipe it off eventually, but I don't want to spend all my money in one lump sum actually trying to wipe it off. So what I basically do now is that basically whatever my minimum payment is, I add an extra $100 or $200 every single month, and that way I pay it off a lot quicker, a lot sooner, but I'm not putting all my money towards that debt, and I invest the bulk of my money. But in the end, I want to make a lot more profits for my investments, and I can't do that while I'm basically paying off this debt right here, and it's still costing me money. So overall, pay it off eventually, yes, like try to pay it off like quicker, but focus on investing also because it's going to make you even more money in the future. And that's what I currently do. Now, number 4 is absolutely the worst type of debt in my opinion. I don't like it. And I would even go as far as saying I actually hate it. I rarely ever use that word. And that is car loan debt. I hate cars so much with a passion. I just don't understand why people buy brand new cars. It doesn't make any sense, okay? The idea is you buy a car, it's so complicated because basically, although you might buy a new car for like $30,000, in reality, in 5 years, that money you actually spent on that car, that vehicle, is worth around 60% less. So it's kind of like buying something and throwing your money out the window. So obviously, for example, we're talking about buying a car, yes, and the debt, but we're talking about buying a used car, and that way you don't have to worry about losing a ton of money when it comes to losing value because of depreciation. So the case is this, guys, okay? the math is this before I get too emotional talking about cars here. The math says that right now, the average interest rate for a used car is around 9.49%. And for a new car, it's actually around 5.5%. But in reality, I'll tell you one thing. If I ever see one of you guys on the streets or anywhere with a new car and you try to talk to me, I'm going to give you guys the most awful look ever. It's going to look like this. Why you do that? I told you not to buy it. Now you just lost a lot of money. No. I'm just going to walk away. I'm not even going to talk to you. I'm just being honest, okay? I don't like new cars. I'm telling you right now, don't buy one. But obviously, guys, with these rates right here, the best thing to do is pay off that car note fast, because basically it's costing you a lot more money than your investments are actually going to make you. And that's why sometimes you actually want to buy a used car in cash and not worry about the interest and just focus on investing in some cases, okay? But obviously, the best thing to do here is pay off the car note and then later on worry about investments. Again, if you buy a new car, bro, the face of disappointment, okay? Now, number 5, guys, and the last type of debt I want to talk about here is all about collections. Collections is one of the most horrifying calls to ever get. If you ever get a call from collections, obviously the second thing you do is go ahead and check your credit score, because you know for a fact your credit score is going to take a huge, massive dip. So without even talking about the math here, what you always want to do here is talk to a professional, or for example, negotiate your collection rates. And that way, usually with collections, you can always negotiate the balance, because basically they paid a lot less for the money you actually owe. So try to negotiate it down and try to focus on paying it off as fast as possible. However, there is one caveat, guys, and that's basically that you want to make sure that the collection agency actually removes it from your credit reports once you're actually done paying it off. So make sure you get it in writing saying like, hey, once we're done paying this off, you are going to remove it from my credit report. And if they don't, go ahead and file a dispute and get it right off once you're done paying the debt. I've seen people owe, for example, like $10,000 in collections and then get away with paying like $5,000 and be done with it, because basically they negotiate it down. So always negotiate. And if you don't know how to negotiate, just hire a professional. There's a whole bunch of websites out there that offer a bunch of help. Just make sure they're verified and someone you know has used it in the past also. And by the way, if you don't pay collections, it's going to affect your credit score for like 7 years. And that's why you want to make this by all means a priority. But guys, that's about it for this video. Comment down below and let me know, was this video helpful in any way? And as always, the answer always depends on what's actually going on in your life and also the type of debts you also have. It's not a no, never get into debt. Yes, invest. No, the answer is it depends on your current situation. But as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video here, guys, well, like this video. Also, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you're notified every time I post a video. On top of that, also, I have a second channel called Tommy Bryson Show. I post there every single day also. And also follow me on Instagram, Tommy Bryson. And before I go, if you want to watch a full video on investments and the basics of it, well, here's that video right here. I'll show you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. And as always, peace.